Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, the topic of our today's discussion is measles. Measles in Urdu is known as khasra. This topic will be discussed under the following headings. The very first one is problem statement. Then what is epidemiological triad of measles? What are the clinical features of measles? How will you diagnose measles? And what are the preventive and control measures of measles? So first of all, we will start by discussing problem statement. Measles. Measles is a viral disease. It is an acute, highly infectious disease of childhood caused by a specific virus of group myxoviruses. Clinically, it is characterized by fever and catarrhal symptoms of upper respiratory tract, that is coryza, cough, and this is followed by a typical rash. This rash is very typical, which we'll be discussing in the later slides. Measles is associated with high morbidity and mortality in developing countries. The cases of measles occur only in humans, and there is no animal reservoir of infection. Problem statement. Measles is endemic virtually in all parts of the world, and when this disease is introduced into a virgin community, more than 90% of that community will be infected. There is one primary reason for continuing high childhood measles mortality and morbidity is basically the failure to deliver at least one dose of measles vaccine to all the infants. Now, dear students, we will discuss the epidemiological triad of measles. And you know what is epidemiological triad? Epidemiological triad basically includes agent factors, host factors, and environmental factors. So first of all, we will be discussing agent factors. What is the agent of measles? The agent of measles is basically RNA paramyxovirus. It got only one serotype. Source of infection. The only source of infection is a case of measles. Carriers of measles, they are not known to occur. Regarding the infective material of measles, secretions of nose, throat, and respiratory tract of a case of measles during the prodromal period and during the early stages of rash. Communicability. Measles is very infectious disease during the prodromal period and at the time of eruption. The period of communicability is approximately 4 days before and 4 days after the appearance of rash. Host factors. Age. This disease affects between 6 months and 3 years of age in developing countries where unfortunately generally the environmental conditions are poor. And in developed countries, older children, usually over the age of 5 years, they are affected. Following the use of measles vaccine, the disease is now seen somewhat more frequently in the older age groups. The incidence of this disease is equal in both the genders. Immunity. No age is immune if there is no previous immunity, but one attack of measles generally confers lifelong immunity, and the infants are protected by the maternal antibodies up to 6 months of age. Immunity after the vaccination is generally very solid and long lasting. Nutritional status. Nutritional status is found to have a great impact on the mortality of the children. Measles tend to be very severe in the malnourished child, and in case of malnourished child, it is carrying a mortality up to 400 times higher than in a well-nourished children having measles. Even in a healthy child, an attack of severe measles may be followed by a weight loss and which may precipitate the child into malnutrition. Uh, Severely malnourished children have been shown to excrete the measles virus for longer period of times than the better nourished children. Environmental factors. Although this disease can occur in any season, but most cases of the measles occur during the dry and winter season, probably because in winter and dry season the people crowd together indoors. Generally, the less favorable the prevailing socio-economic conditions, the lower the average age at which the children are attacked, and vice versa. Transmission of measles occur directly from one person to another person mainly by droplet infection and by droplet nuclei from 4 days before the onset of rash until the 4 days thereafter. So, isolation of the patient for a week from the onset of rash generally covers the period of communicability. Incubation period, and you know what is incubation period? Incubation period is generally the time period between the entry of agent and the appearance of first signs and symptoms. Incubation period of measles is commonly 10 days from exposure to onset of fever and 14 days to appearance of rash. Clinical features. There are three stages in the natural history of measles disease, that is pre-eruptive stage, eruptive stage, and post-measles stage. Prodromal stage. It is the first stage. It begins 10 days after infections and lasts until day 14. It is characterized by fever, coryza with sneezing and nasal discharge, cough, redness of eyes, lacrimation, and often photophobia. There may be vomiting or diarrhea. A day or two before the appearance of rash, Koplik spores like table salt crystals appear on the buccal mucosa opposite the first and second lower molars. These are basically the small bluish white spots on a red base. Their presence is pathognomic of measles. Both of these diagrams are showing the Koplik spores, which are basically, you can see here, uh, are appearance like a table salt crystals on the buccal mucosa, and they are basically opposite the first and second lower molars. The next slide is also showing the same Koplik spot. Again, another picture to show you how the Koplik spot look like. The second stage is eruptive phase. This phase is characterized by a typical dusky red macular or maculopapular rash which begins behind the ears and spreads rapidly in a few hours over the face, neck, and then extends down the body, taking 2 or 3 days to progress to the lower extremities. Diagnosis is basically based on this typical rash and the Koplik spores, which we discussed earlier in the slides, which are seen in the buccal mucosa. This slide is containing the pictures of rash of measles. Initially it involves face, then in a few days time it involves the whole body, and you can see from these pictures the rash gives a typical dusky red appearance. Now the third stage is post-measles stage. In it the child will have lost weight and will remain weak for a number of days. There may be failure to recover and a gradual deterioration into chronic illness due to increased susceptibility to other bacterial and viral infections, nutritional and metabolic effects, and the tissue destructive effects of the virus. There may be growth retardation, diarrhea, reactivation of pulmonary TB. Complications. Measles does causes few complications. Pneumonia is the most common life-threatening complication. Other than pneumonia, it also causes neurological complications which include febrile convulsions, encephalitis, and subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. Subacute sclerosing panencephalitis is a rare complication which develops many years after the initial measles infection. Prevention of measles basically relies on proper immunization. The following are the guidelines which are important in combating measles. The first one is achieving an immunization rate of over 95% and an ongoing immunization against measles through successive generations of children. Prevention of measles is by measles vaccination. Measles is best prevented by active immunization. Only live attenuated vaccines are recommended for its use. They are generally safe and effective. The vaccine is presented as freeze-dried product. Before use, the lyophilized vaccine is reconstituted with sterile diluent. Measles may be prevented by administration of immunoglobulin early in the incubation period. The dose recommended by World Health Organization is 0.25 ml per kg of body weight. It should be given ideally within 3 to 4 days of exposure. The person passively immunized should be given live measles vaccine 8 to 12 weeks later. Need for the immunoglobulin is basically now very much reduced because of the availability of an effective live attenuated vaccine. In case if there is an outbreak of measles, the following outbreak control measures they have been recommended. The first one is isolation. Isolation for 7 days after the onset of rash. The second is immunization of contacts within 2 days of exposure. Or if the vaccine is contraindicated, then the immunoglobulins can be given. Immunoglobulins should be given within 3 to 4 days of exposure. And last, prompt immunization at the beginning of an epidemic is essential to limit the spread.